All right, welcome everybody to Arsenal Fan Circle. Pull up a chair. You're all welcome here. It has been a weekend about Arsenal. Okay, that's how I'll phrase it. Weekend about Arsenal. As I was just saying to Gary, my personal point of view is um, whatever benefits Arsenal to win a league title, that's what I'm for. It's about Arsenal and it's about City losing. Let me categorically state that. Gary, you don't have to state your position, but definitely, if you want to, you can, of course, but definitely results this today have gone Arsenal's way
Yep.
in the big game, you know.
Yep. Oh man. Yeah. So going into today, all I could hope for is that Arsenal stays 5 points ahead of the second place team. And guess what? Arsenal is still 5 points ahead of the second place team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't cheer for anyone. I might cheer for a result. If that means
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, Mr. Tom is in the house. Steven's in the house. Mr. Tom is not happy. I know I saw the early score, so I'm assuming it didn't get any better.
No, 1-0 to Nottingham Forest against Leeds, and Leeds huffed and puffed, but they couldn't blow the house down. Yeah, hi everyone. Hope you're all well. All well. We're glad, Stephen, you're doing well. You're out of hospital now a week or two and recovering well, so
Yes.
hopefully that's good. Yes, Mr. Tom hates football, but I did enjoy the stream yesterday that the Fools podcast had on. I'll tell you what, I had some free HBO, so I caught up a little bit on The Last of Us. Everybody's been talking about that, so I had to drop out of the Fools podcast. I was checking it out, enjoying it, but I left it. And Gary, I saw that you dropped in a little bit later in that stream as well.
Yeah, I dropped in and watched the end of the tag team, whatever they call it, title shot.
Yeah.
So that was cool to be able to do that and do non football stuff. Doing it. Glenn, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Sam
Welcome,
is in there.
Glenn. Welcome, Glenn. He is here live. Good to have you, Glenn. Hey, we're going to have one of those Kahoot quizzes that people have been talking about as well. I thought between yesterday and this morning that our mood would not be the best. Listen, Arsenal still lost a game.
Yep.
And one that we probably wanted to get more from. But, we salvaged the situation with that result from another team, and City not. Are they under a little bit of pressure, Gary?
I don't think so because
Can we frame it that way?
As long as they keep losing games and dropping points, I'll take it. But no, I don't think so because when you see Kevin De Bruyne come off the bench, I think if I recall, he came off the bench in that match, right?
Minutes,
so he didn't even start. So when he's not starting, that means they don't have what you would consider their first 11 on the pitch, right? So it usually doesn't really matter, but this is a different season, and it's not like they're not playing a top 5 team, right, or 6 team or whatever. So with two attacking players. So yeah, you can't do that, right? if you take your best player off the pitch, it's going to be a struggle, and it looked like it was. I didn't see the match. I was following the scores and stuff and saw that that team had scored early, had scored actually, and the fact that they didn't get a goal is surprising. We held them to 1 goal, and then and then the last time they played that team, right, they put 4 past them in the second half, I think. So yeah, now it's not their year. What's going on here?
My hair in the darkness.
What's happening, guys?
There.
We'll give you a rundown of the agenda, and then we'll play the intro video as people are joining us here. Sam Greenwood, calm down, everyone. I'll be joining soon.
I don't think anybody was really watching the clock, Sam. I don't think. That's all right.
There's that meme of Mr. Bean, 5 points ahead with a game at hand. Yes, we'll take it.
Yes, sir.
We'll take it.
Game in hand FC flips back and forth between City and Arsenal. Am I here?
Look at that. Sutton's on fire.
Right. I'm just appreciative you showed up at all. Mr. Tom, the Fools podcast. Mr. Tom leading two Fools, Alonso and Tony. Is that the premise of the
I think you're being really mean. That's really mean, Ray.
I'm sorry if you call it the Fools podcast.
It's not called the Fools Network.
What is it called? What's the right name, Gary? What's the right name?
Play on word. Come on.
Okay.
And Sam, I don't usually drop on to live streams, so it's not, I don't just drop in. I usually start the thing, right? But it's full Nelson. Get it right. Stop.
Oh, the full Nelson. Okay.
Gotta be funny.
Okay. Mahir, do you have to leave and you'll be back, or?
Sounds like he might have to be back. He's not in his head, but I think he's not in his head. All I can see is he's moving.
Sorry, if you guys can hear, just let me turn up the volume. I want you to hear. That's the call for prayer, so I'm just on mute. But I'm here.
Okay,
all right.
No problem.
Mr. Tom said, no, that's exactly the idea behind the Full Nelson podcast. Ray is correct. Okay.
All right.
I'll take a win. I
thought it was like a proper wrestling show.
Anytime Arsenal can get a win, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. Gunnar Glenn, maybe your NFL season is over, but I support the Philadelphia Eagles, so our season continues until next Sunday. NFL season's over, so won't be working Sunday nights for another 9 months. What else we got here? Right. BX Gunner is back. I think we missed you the last couple, BX, but you're in the house now. Okay, here's the agenda. We're going to talk about Everton, Arsenal. Not the best day for us. We're going to talk about today's game as well. Loyalty in a title race. We touched on that a little bit. Game in hand FC. And I want to talk about drinking up the tears of our rivals, So as you get in, grab a drink, and we'll play the little intro video that Gary has put forward for Arsenal Fan Circle. Here we go. Okay, love that, Gary. Thanks for doing that for the channel. Really appreciate that. Listen, first thing we're going to talk about is Arsenal. Everton win 1-0. They got us on a breakdown on our coverage in a corner. Our team is not really built for physicality. Everton's team is built a little bit more for physicality. We would expect our own team to do better in possession, and we just didn't play well yesterday. So first thing I'm going to say is, as much as I hate to say it, credit to Everton. The better team won on the day. We didn't show up, Gary. We didn't give anything to the game, and we didn't have very many clear-cut chances.
No. I mean, Everton had a game plan. They came out and they executed it well. We knew coming in what we would have to be faced with, and we did not have an answer for it. Even I get maybe not an answer right away, but eventually you're gonna have to figure out a way to break through and get yourself in a position to get scores. Yeah, that's I forget the name. It's one of those like background music you can put on your videos so that you don't get any copyright infringement. So that's what it is, but I forget the name. I'll find it, because I did find it, and I did send it to Ray actually, because he wanted to know if you get in trouble.
So I actually feel like it takes a while for the notifications to go out for YouTube. So for me, playing the intro 10 minutes into the show, people don't actually miss the intro then, Mm-hmm. I don't know how you feel about it, Gary. 10 minutes into the show, we're playing the intro, but there you go. here we are.
Yeah, some people. I mean, some people do a little. I do a little bit of a hello everyone, welcome to the show, and then I do my intro. Your intro is just a lot longer than most, so that's all. So
There
tell
you go.
Mr. Tom, you know what you're doing. You've been doing this for years.
Yeah, listen,
The song is actually called "Rock and Roll Jeans" instrumental.
Gary, the man does a podcast last night. He's a host, and he thinks he knows everything today. You know what I mean? I'll take it under advisement, Mr. Tom. I'll take it under advisement.
There you go.
All right. So, listen, Gary, I think we have to take the L here. Like I said, Everton were clearly the better team. As much as it pains us to say, Sean Dyche, there's a game plan out there that can quell Arsenal and teams that are equipped to put that game plan into effect will start to do that to us this second half of the season.
Yeah, and this is where Arteta and his staff need to have answers, because the closer, every game forward is another game people are going to realize, you know what, this team has a style of play, and if we don't stop it, we're in trouble. So we need to have answers for that. If that means we just move players around and stuff to give ourselves a little bit more controlled possession, because we lost the midfield, and that's pretty much the key. I don't know if the way the style of play that we expected actually mattered. When you lose the midfield the way we did, we got bullied in the midfield. I don't think we had a healthy Partey, and that makes a big difference for us. We don't have an answer for what happens when Partey is out. We realize that now. Even with Jorginho, I don't think that's the answer. So we need to have a style of play that works when he's not there, or when he's not even 100%. Right? He definitely was not the player that we'd seen in the previous 18 games that he played. I think it's 18. Oh, right. Little discussions going on there.
I'm going to mute that for a second.
Oops. There we go. He's in the light now.
Very noisy there, my ear.
Yeah.
Unmute yourself when it's quieter, my ear. Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, no, I think we lost the midfield, and then basically that was all she wrote for us. I mean, I think Saka did as good as he could with the way that we played. I just would have liked him probably to attack the goal more than to look to pass, make them, put the ball on goal, because I think you can't have all that possession and not have a bigger gap in goals scored. I mean, even they had more goals on shots on target than us, I think. So we needed to take advantage of when we did get it and not try to go for the perfect play. Why not just, once you break them down, put the ball on goal and see what happens? Because I mean, that's how he scored against that team, right? Put the ball in front of the goal. Goalkeeper coughed it up and put it in. So we needed that. We needed a kind of a goal like that yesterday. Nothing, not a good goal scoring opportunity, but just we just force it in there somehow. We need to, and once you get one, then it opens things up for you. So
until we can do that, until we can score on teams and open the game up, this is going to be the plan, especially covering our wingers, bringing the wide forwards back as well, and the midfielders to batten down Saka and Martinelli. As Stephen said, watching Match of the Day live right now, and it's a Harry Kane love fest. Well, turn it off right now. Don't watch it. Come over here and talk about Arsenal. I want to throw up. No matter what he has accomplished, he still hasn't won them anything in their golden age. He's talking about signing a new contract with them. He's an unambitious idiot.
Okay, if you're going to sign with them, then you can't take all the money. Right? It's got to be one or the other, right? Either you go get the money elsewhere so you can actually win a trophy, or you don't take all the money with the team you got so they can get the players in to help you get a trophy. Right? Yeah. I mean, you seem like, I know it doesn't happen too often, but does he really want to just be known as the guy who made all this money at his club, but has no trophies in the cabinet to show, except for like top scorer in the
looks
country?
Like he wants that. He wants that record, and he's happy with that. It looks like he wants to be quote unquote legend at that team. You know what I mean?
It's terrible.
Shame.
He'll have his name in record. He'll have his name in record books for goals scored, but I believe Jimmy Greaves won things with that team. Harry Kane has won very little with them. The worst part is Everton didn't play that well. We were just awful. Even with a healthy Partey, we would not have won. Our
I
passing was
don't know
terrible.
about that. I don't know about that.
Our passing was really bad. Erdegaard and Granit Xhaka,
Yeah.
we had some overlapping runs. I mean, Ben White didn't get past Saka too many times. A couple of balls went out of play. Our passing was pretty bad. Maybe they talked about the pitch being, untreated per Sean Dyche. But let's go to Mahir while we can and get your thoughts, Mahir, on everything. Go ahead.
Awful, awful, awful game, guys. Unfortunately, we're just gonna have to take the L and answer the call. Like, you know what was so bad about that? There was no control in the midfield. Everything was sloppy. The
Mhm.
overloads on the right hand side. I know we're playing like right-handed FC or right-hand side FC. Every time we gave the ball to Saka, every time the ball's going on the right-hand side, there are 3, 4 guys covering Saka. Martinelli is wide open. Yes, I do know that all our players have not one leg to stand on. Most of them, aside from who, maybe Ramsdale. I just wasn't our game yesterday, to be fair with you. And sometimes I think we take
Mhm.
it for granted. Maybe we took it for granted that okay, Everton are right at the bottom. Sam's in the
Big
building.
up.
There you
Big
go.
up.
All right. We can block him if he gets unruly.
Yo.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah!
Gary.
Mr. Tom was like, "Can you stop half Arsenal against relegation
I want to
candidates,
do that
please?"
too,
Yeah.
Mr.
That's
Tom.
what I'm
Definitely.
saying.
That's the general idea, Tom, is to win games against weaker teams. That is the general idea. These players, these Arsenal players, I think Mikel Arteta is maybe taking the right approach. Show them some love. When you mess up in your workplace, that you haven't turned in a good performance. I expect those players to have a good week of training and be ready for Brentford next Saturday. Let's get to Sam. Sam, what's your thoughts on everything this weekend?
Yeah, I thought the Everton game was pretty much as expected, to be honest. I really did not expect a good result there. It was one of those, we just saw everything coming. We're not good at Goodison Park. It's one of our bogey grounds. We haven't won there for, was it like 8 years or something like that?
2017, 6 years,
Right,
right?
6 years, yeah. So it's been
Arsene
a while.
Wenger.
Arsene Wenger was okay. Anyway, 6 years since we
Yo.
last won there.
Mm-hmm.
You just know that when they got a new manager, they have that new manager bounce. They're going to give everything. They got that new energy. I could just see it all coming. And unfortunately, that's what happened. We didn't have a good game. Our energy wasn't quite there. We weren't pressing as we normally do. Our passing wasn't as quick. Our speed of passing wasn't as quick as it normally was, so it made it a bit easier for them to get to the ball and get in the way of what we were doing. And you got to give credit to Everton as well, because they set up tactically very well with Sean Dyche. He knew exactly how he wanted to play against us.
We got dashed.
Yeah, Dyke. I like to call him Dyke. but
Yeah, but
He strangled our wingers, isolated our wingers, made it very difficult for them to play into the box and back into where they wanted to play. And it worked well for them. And without being able to move the ball quickly and put that press onto them, that was it. And they pressed us very well. They gave 110% the whole game. They played it like a cup final, basically. For them, that game was a cup final, and they got the 3 points.
yeah, I'm getting a notification that Mr. Tom was hidden by BX Gunner. I hope it's a little bit of banter in the chat group. But BX,
No, there's nothing there.
is he in timeout?
There's nothing there. There must have just been an accident or something. No, it looks okay.
Okay, Mr. Tom, let us know if you're there in the chat room.
Can't see why.
Yeah. Anything else, Sam? Before we go to Gary and keep the rotation
No,
going.
I just thought, as I said, I just think it's a blip. Like there's a bump in the carpet.
Yeah, we
I
hope.
want to see us now. We need to get back again against Brentford. If we can get back into playing regular as we normally do there and get those 3 points, I think we'll be back on track. But yeah, it was weird. It was like we just couldn't really. It was like we were just not all there, you know. And Everton,
Yeah.
I think most of it was because Everton, they really played out their skins. They really
Mhm.
did, and it made it
Yeah.
so hard for us, you know.
Okay, I'm going to give a viewpoint that I think Gary will agree with. We knew about this new manager bounce. We knew that this stuff would happen. We should have been prepared for this. Arteta should have known that this would happen. I'm sure Sam and Mahir agree with this as well.
Yeah.
Arteta should know this would happen. The players should know that they're going to meet, this commitment in the first 25, 30 minutes. But Gary, they didn't seem to let up Everton. They kept going and going. And I think Mahir called out Onana as man in the match yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I was told about Nana by somebody. One of my good friends is also Guna, and he follows up a lot on the scouting report. I call him my scout because he's always saying ridiculous things sometimes, like, no, we need Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe. I'm like, my guy, relax yourself. Not in a million years. So he was saying something about Onana, and he was telling me from which club he plays at, and he's like, if he's a talent or not, whether or not we should sign him. And now looking at it, like, wow, imagine instead of getting somebody like a Jorginho, which is a horrible signing. I don't know how on earth it's supposed to back that, but somebody like Onana, full of energy all over the place. I mean, man was marshalling basically all of our players. They're not giving them a chance to breathe. I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys would agree.
I do wonder if there had been some contact from Arsenal on Onana. He seemed like a man possessed yesterday. Gary, let's address that. We really should have been ready for this onslaught. We knew what we were going into. And by the way, Mr. Tom has been released from timeout.
Well, I don't know.
jail.
He's using his other alias, so I don't know. He might be actually Mr. Tom might be blocked, but the full network, as you call it, is still alive and kicking. So
Full Nelson podcast.
yeah, there you go. You're getting it. You're getting it.
I can adjust. I can pivot. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you know what? You guys always talk about the bounce, and we never play well there. And I'm like, I get it, but that can't be we can't use it every damn time because every team. We say this about every damn team.
Yeah.
And I no. We've only dropped points 4 times out of 20. That's not it.
Mm-hmm.
We're one of the best teams on the road. So no. I don't want to hear that anymore. Come on, we're top of the league for a reason. We're top of the team because we can overcome these things, right?
Yep.
And we got to have answers for it. And for me, I think it's as I said, and many people have probably said, I think we realize now why we missed Jesus. A game like this, we needed somebody to do something extra, right? Yeah. Something extra. It doesn't matter where on the pitch. Something. I mean, if Xhaka would have taken a yellow, I think that might have woken us up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like something. Nothing was. We just sat there and took the punches and the blows over and over again, right? And then they put, Mupai, whatever his name is, in to finish us off at the end. But in general, we didn't really take it to them the way we needed to in this game, knowing how they were going to play. And it is surprising that, like, Onana's name did come up as maybe a potential player to pick up, but I don't know if anybody actually made a bid for him.
No,
right?
Probably
we
not.
could have done with a player like that.
Yeah.
Jorginho's not that. Jorginho, huh? No, Onana.
Onana in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
physicality
Mupai,
in the
no.
Onana.
Mupai's just trash. He's just
Yes.
fucking trash.
Yeah, and you know, as they said, Zinchenko took the bait on that one. All he had to do was get up. Maybe they get the yellow, maybe not, and then you just get it. If they don't give the yellow, I expect him to get a yellow later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, at the least, he should have put his hand on his chest to get up off the floor, right?
Yeah.
Something, because you got slapped in. The man punked you, and you didn't do any. We didn't respond even after that. You know. Yes, the match was almost over, but we needed to respond, not necessarily in kind, but the way we can, and get something out of this game.
There's a trend in the game now we can talk about for a second. That okay, you better be a goal up. You better be leading in the game or at least not losing, because trying to chase the game now is impossible. Players are any kind of contact to the head, Sam, they're going down to the ground.
Oh yeah, there's loads of play acting now, and unfortunately, the game it's evolved into a state now where any little bit of contact is a foul now. That's the problem. I mean, used to be. I mean, I remember back when I was younger. You know, I'm talking like an old fart now, but you know, it's like when I was younger. I remember there was a lot more contact in the game. That there was never the whistle was never blown. You know, you could go in quite hard in tackles, and you know, you look back at the early days of the Premier League. Some of those games now, you'd be shocked at what referees let happen, what referees let go. But now it's like someone touches someone and it's a fucking yellow card. I mean, it's ridiculous the way players are protected now and how just any contact is as a foul. And it's football's a contact sport. I think that's what everyone seems to be forgetting now in these days. It is a contact sport. You are allowed to touch each other without a foul happening, and that's what I think we need to start to realize. And at the beginning of the season, there was also all this talk about how the referees had decided for this season that there was going to be a higher tolerance of minor tackles and things like that were not going to be blown up for free kicks. We were going to let minor tackles go and basically have a higher limit on what would be a free kick. But that seems to have gone out the window halfway through the season. That seems to have completely gone out the window. Every little contact is a free kick again. It's just again, it goes back to the whole. I know it's a whole different debate, but it goes back to the whole consistency thing. With referees, it's just completely out the window as always. But yeah, it's annoying. It really is annoying like that. But at the end of the day, there's no excuse for the way we played. We didn't really show up. For once. I think it's the first time this season I can say our performance wasn't really where it should be, and we need to bounce right back. Okay,
Mr. Tom, I think I have hidden you. You should be able to use your original account as well. Let's get through a few comments. I want to delve into what we're just talking about a little bit more. There was a melee that went on up at Old Trafford. Casemiro was sent off. Are we going to hear anything about that? We'll get into that in a second. To me, the players look totally unprepared for the game. We have not looked that unprepared since the 3-game losing streak at the beginning of last season, or even like last Easter when we lost to Southampton, Brighton, and Crystal Palace at the tail end of last season. Stephen, how bad is Frank Lampard as a manager if Sean gets them organized in this first game? I also thought we played pretty poorly away to Southampton as well, and we know we got away with 3 points at Leeds, Sam.
But I just want to first address Gunnar Glenn, who makes a good point there. I mean, there is a lot to be said about the manager and what his influence is. The manager, you get a manager in who finds the right way, to get that squad of players playing together. It's going to get a lot more results out of that than a manager who doesn't know how to get that squad to play together and doesn't really know what tactics suit them. And I think that's where Frank Lampard is. I think he's a bit of a lost cause. He has to find a team that suits his tactics, I think, or else he's just never really going to be successful. But yeah. Sorry, what was your question again, Ray? Because I was caught.
Basically, the melee that went up at Old Trafford, Casemiro sent off.
Will we see the FA go at United where they should? If there's consistency and this, they're supposed to be consistent with what they do. They should get the same as us, really. And what Casemiro did wasn't exactly a big deal, but it's still a red card. And they should get the same type of follow up, and fines as we got. But we'll see. I mean, this is be the stuff that will come out tomorrow.
Also, want to say City players are shameless, surrounding the referee on any kind of suspicion of a handball, trying to get a penalty, trying to get something from the referee today. I don't buy the Goodison Park curse of the last 6 years. This is not those teams. This team is much better. We came out flat with some subpar performances by White and Jack and a few others. I think we were off, Gary. I think we were off and all over the pitch. I mean, we're going to talk about man of the match, but I'm hard pressed to think of a player who could hit over 3 or 4 out of 10 for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I think Saka probably was the better player up top, anyways. Midfield, nobody gets any scoring there. On the back line, I don't remember hearing much from Saliba in terms of he did something wrong. I mean, there was the one play by Gabriel where he slipped, and they had that header that they missed. Otherwise, Ramsdale kept the game close, right? Because they were putting shots on goal, but he came out and he made some stops, so made some saves. So I think those are kind of the three. I think our center backs were fine. I think your midfield just hurt you today. It hurt us.
Yeah.
But,
we
I'm
had.
not sure if did I go off tangent? I don't even know.
Not. Listen, this is the weekend for going off tangent. It's fine because Arsenal didn't play a fluent game. I don't expect us to either. City losing has fixed my mood and saved the weekend. That's the thing, Sam. This will be a little bit more like Arsenal therapy, right? But we're kind of a little bit buoyed by the result today.
We're actually lucky that City lost today.
Yep.
Because they had their chance to narrow the gap, and they didn't. They lost. They shit the bed, and that's it's actually made our loss yesterday not so bad. So yeah, there is a silver lining, as they say.
Yep.
To every cloud.
There is a lot of work to do though after this defeat, and the players have to take the onus on their shoulders.
I have, based on what we've seen earlier this season, I just want to say my little bit on this, but based on what we've seen earlier this season until now, we have seen that we are a completely different beast. Our mentality is so much stronger because of these players we have, what they're doing on and off the pitch. And we've been in high pressure situations, high pressure games where we've just come through and done the job. And so I have full confidence. That we will bounce back against Brentford. I have full confidence in that.
Won't be easy.
Well, no, Brentford's a good team. They've got a good manager again, talking about managers and their influence, their role. They've got a very good manager. They've got some good players. They're going to come to the Emirates. They're going to want to frustrate us. They're going to want to give us a hard game. And, as you said correctly, Ray, we need to be prepared for that. Like we obviously weren't that prepared as we should have been for the Everton performance. So we need to be prepared for that. But I think Arteta and his team, and I think the boys like Zinchenko,
Jesus, and even
Jesus,
Jorginho has even been in that position.
Erdegaard, Jorginho have some influence now. I think these guys they're going to get their heads together and they're going to put together a better performance again on Saturday. I really do.
Well, welcome.
That's what we need to. That's what we need to do. We need to, because you're not going to go through a whole season winning everything. It's just, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Gary, welcome to Matt, your cohort on the.
Get it done. Get it done.
He would probably say we were naked out there on Saturday.
It was probably one of the worst performances of the season, notwithstanding that Southampton and Leeds game, which
but we played worse than the Southampton game. That was because it felt like we could have scored in the Southampton game to me. It didn't feel like we were going to score in this game yesterday at all.
Still be playing, Gary. We wouldn't be scoring. We could still be playing.
Nketiah was well off yesterday, and I agree very much with what Gary said earlier and what you said as well. I think we'd have had a very different game yesterday with Jesus up front.
Yeah.
Because Nketiah just didn't do anything for us up there. He was just
it's not a style of play for him where he needs to, because I thought at some point they would just have him come out of the middle just to switch things up a bit. Maybe let Martinelli go in the middle, not for any other reason but to switch things up, just because he's trapped there. You see, how many touches did he have? Not enough to influence the game at all. And we needed him, like he needed to be in the box when we put the crosses in. But at some point, you can't just stand behind the defense and get squeezed out, because that's all they did, right? They put 2 on our wings. Where was he? He needed to either come for the ball or something. We're not show for it. You know what I mean? Like he just was sitting there, like hiding behind the defense, not giving any of our players an opportunity to get the ball to him away from the goal. Like he can't go 6-10 feet away from the goal. You know what I mean?
You're exactly right, Gary. I mean, look at Haaland. He didn't get the service today. I mean, not comparing Haaland, kind of am comparing Haaland to Nketiah, but the principle's there. If you don't get the right kind of balls into your striker, he can't do anything with it. And I think Gabriel Jesus is a striker that you want in the trenches. You know, he wants to be physical, and Everton are a physical team.
Yeah.
And I think I saw a video of Sean Dyche where he wanted to do the narrow V against teams like Arsenal.
It worked.
It worked for them. Be compact, like they were being compact like Newcastle. The difference was they got us on one breakdown. Partey coming off, Jorginho coming on, and maybe
I'm sorry, but Erdegaard wasn't good on that cross.
Not at all. Yeah,
he got ran over by
a player who wanted to score.
You know what I mean? Like he got run. And
well,
you know what?
Is that mismatch, isn't it?
No, I know, but we've done that. We do it all the
Mismatch.
time, though.
Yep.
How many times have we seen like Saka and Bellerin up against Dunk and stuff?
That's where our set piece coach needs to come in, and our defensive coach needs to come in. In general, right, I've got to say, we've been very good on set pieces, both defensively and offensively.
Yeah.
For the last couple of seasons, we have done very well. We touch wood, as we say.
No, you say that, but this is the second game in a row where.
Yeah, I'm saying the last couple of games haven't been good, but in general, until now, we have been very good. So, it's sort of gone off the rails a little bit now the last couple of games. But yeah, you have to get organised very quickly. As soon as there is a corner, you got to get vocal. You got to organise very quickly. You got to match players up on size and strength. Because Erdegaard, yes, okay, he didn't do a good job, but he was up against a powerful centre back in Tarkowski. That's a huge mismatch. There's no way Erdegaard is expected to win that duel.
We do that all the time. How many you've seen it?
I would say
a lot where we have these mismatches, and we're like, why do we keep doing this?
But I think it's how the teams are built, Gary. I think it comes down to how the teams are built. Everton are built with that physicality.
I mean the mismatch doesn't need to happen because it is a cross.
Well,
you have enough time to organize it. I mean, he ran all the way from outside the goalie box.
There's other players
into it, right?
There's other players in the team, in that Everton team, that had to be marked as well. Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
This is what we saw with Wenger. This is what we've seen before. We've got away with it so far, but we play zonal marking. And that's where the other team, I bet you Sean Dye, I don't know if Sean Dye had the time or the players were just that savvy. I'm talking about Everton now. They were that savvy in the corners to just realize, okay, you go up against him, we'll use our mismatching here. Actually, have that as a real plan on set pieces. Because when we play zonal and we're just going to the closest guy, picking up the closest guy, it's you got to go man to man really. You got to match up man to man according to size and strength. But that's not. We haven't been doing that lately. We need to figure that out.
I also think that we're outmatched a little bit in terms of size and strength, and that's on us. If we held on to the ball and had more possession, we wouldn't have conceded 4 corners in the middle of the first half in succession.
Yeah,
we're supposed to control the game. We didn't control the game. When you don't control the game, they're going to pick up these little bits and pieces, Sam.
We were too sloppy, and we gave away too many corners. We were too sloppy. The more corners you give away, right, that eventually something's going to happen, right? It's just a matter of statistics. You give someone 15 corners, they're going to have a good chance of scoring one of them. You got to prevent the corners, and normally we're good because we have a very, very strong back four in terms of heading the ball and being good in the air. But you keep pumping that ball in, and you got other players involved now, like our midfielders and stuff like that, it's going to get worse. We're not going to have the same type of stability. So, yeah, no, and they were, like you say, Ray, you're right. They were a tougher, stronger team matched up against us in terms of set pieces.
I mean, it depends on how you want to build your team. We're building our team to be a possession-based team, and if we can't have possession, we're going to fall foul of a set piece like that. The other thing I didn't like is
we had 70%. So what more do you want in a game? We had 70%. So we got what we wanted in possession. No. But what I'm saying is we have control of the game in terms of ball possession. So that wasn't it, right? It was what you did with that opportunities that you get with the ball at your feet.
I think tempo. We had too low tempo yesterday.
I think you're right in terms of the possession we had, but I haven't looked back at the other games, but if I look back at them, we probably didn't concede as many corners as we did.
No, that's true.
Against
Everton, we got a bit sloppy on corners, but for me the main thing yesterday was a tempo, because yes, you're going to have Sean Dyche and Everton playing compact like that. They don't want us really going down the sides, but if we would have played the ball quicker, had more tempo and more precise, been better, crisper with our passing as we normally have been this season, we would have beaten them. But we lost that tempo. We lost that precision. Like Gary said, Partey had a poor game. He wasn't really with it. It looked like that injury. I don't know what injury he's got. It must be something affecting him.
I think he's carrying an injury. I think he's carrying something.
They say it's a rib injury that's only minor, but when he's playing like that, there could be something. There's something more to it, I think.
It's got to be affecting his breathing then, Sam.
Yeah, maybe, because he wasn't with it. And when his passing's out of sorts and he's not really covering the ground he should be, we're not with it. It's he's an important part of the way we play. And, it wasn't really there yesterday. And the tempo went down and, we just couldn't get that ball switching it. We couldn't switch it quick enough. And without switching it quick enough, you're not going to beat Everton.
Arteta did say about Partey he's not trained all week, so that's why he did come off a little bit earlier than usual, and they decided to bring in Jorginho.
Yeah, he trained on Friday, but that was probably only Friday he got there.
That's a sign that he shouldn't even have played to start, because if you don't practice all week and then come in on a Friday, get some running in, and then you're going to play in a game like this that we know how this is going to turn out, where he's going to need to be on it, be at his best. And if he can't, what's the point? You got Jorginho for this reason, right?
Yep.
He's had a week of time with the team to get ready. This is what you brought him in for. You play him. We just have to play a different style. That's all. And let him come on later if you need to. I think that once again we've kind of pushed Partey back out into the pitch when it hurt us, because it just the whole middle just crumbled around him, as if he's not going to be like, if you go in and Jorginho's going to be there, then we might play a different way, right? But he comes in, you expect him to come in and play at least to where his standards are, right? He'd probably tell you he didn't play that standard, right? So
he would, And listen, I wondered if we would start him or if he would rest for this game, because he's got another 6 days of rest. But we go again next Saturday against Brentford, then the midweek game against City, which is so important, and then the following Saturday we're going to be away to Aston Villa. So we got a week's rest, but then we have 3 vital games that they're going to shape our season, but they're going to help. You know what I mean?
I just want to say big up to Steve Misfit in the chat. He's in real meltdown mode today. I don't think he's taking this loss very well.
He said he didn't mind the loss. It's the way we lost that bothers me. He's
in full meltdown mode. Everything's crap. Everything's wrong.
Any loss you're not going to like. I didn't like the Man United loss earlier in the season. 4 months ago in September.
Yeah.
Now
listen, yesterday wasn't a good day at the office. It wasn't, but let's not let this completely,
get skewed, right?
Let's not jump off the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge yet.
This is why the title is we need to fix up for next Saturday. The players need to have that impetus and need to play well. Gunnar Glenn said Trossard looks good, but he does need more than 20 minutes. I want Trossard to start. Where do you two lay on that one?
I
Gareth?
think Trossard was just a victim yesterday of the whole team not really being there. I like him. I think he's a good player. He probably should have started yesterday, like I said, because Trossard, I think he's good enough to deserve to be given a start. Let Martinelli rest a little bit, because Martinelli seems to be. I don't know. I think Martinelli could do with a couple of games on the bench, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just let him recharge his batteries, get fresh.
Because Trossard does have slightly less minutes in his legs than Martinelli.
It does, and he looked very good. Coming on as a substitute, he looked.
We also need to maybe have some of our players from the window bed in, Jorginho and Trossard to bed in to be more fluid in this team.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge Jorginho on just that game coming on the last 30 minutes like that. No, you got to give him more than that. But yeah, no, I'll definitely give Trossard a start. Definitely.
No, Trossard. I mean, when we were going to go to the subs, my first thought was Trossard comes in and Kedia goes out. Not because he's doing bad; it's just not his game. Not today. We needed to have like 3 players up top that can actually, can do a little bit more with the ball outside of just, being in the middle there. I thought that would have been the play to make there.
We had the kid on the bench.
Huh?
We had that kid on the bench.
Yeah, I don't know why we keep doing that. I mean, why are you wasting the kid's time? Just let him go and play some games, right? Because when they put him on the bench, he doesn't play, right? Usually,
I think it's almost like Arteta has his Make-A-Wish Foundation thing for being on the bench.
Well, we are waiting for Gabriel Jesus and Emile Smith-Rowe to take take that place from that kid as well.
Yeah, no, I think they should have brought on. Like I said, I think they should have brought on Trossard and taken Eddie off. That would have made, I think, the front three a little bit more fluid.
What happened to that 15-year-old we got?
He's playing. He's just. That was the same thing, man. That was just like.
I'm just saying, we brought him on. He actually scored, didn't he?
No, he made a play. He made a play on the ball.
No, he didn't score. That's Patino scored. I remember he scored. Yeah. He's doing well at Blackpool. Bless him.
But Stephen said Erdegaard should have gone down and tried for foul.
That Arteta really likes. We never seen him again.
Yeah. Erdegaard will probably learn from this one. Erdegaard didn't even challenge. He didn't even get off the ground.
I'm going to stick up for my boy, and
I know you stand up for him, but the man got ran over. I'm very sorry. You can't let that. No, you can't get punked like that, man.
Let me talk, Let me talk, and I can maybe talk.
You're gonna try. You already said you're gonna back your man.
I just said. I mean, you don't know how I'm going to back him, do you?
Let's hear it. We switch out Tony and we get Sam. Okay.
I don't usually go against Sam because he's got a lot more knowledge.
He didn't have as bad a game as people make out yesterday. Yeah. No, he didn't have a good game. Absolutely. Far from where he should be. But he was the one keeping our attack going yesterday. He really was. The ball went a lot through him, and it was basically him trying to get things to work. And it didn't work very well. And yes, he lost the ball a few times, as did everyone else. Yes, he got run over a few times, everyone else. But he also won the ball back in some key areas. He had a couple of really nice passes that should have resulted in goals. And yeah, he is the beating heart of our attack, basically.
Yeah.
But yesterday, of course, it was really hard.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, you got all the actions right, but I needed him to be a little bit more vocal yesterday because we needed somebody to wake the team up. As you said, he's doing all this stuff, and he's not seeing, his teammates reciprocate with something that, I'm doing all this work. Come on, give me something. That's what you see that from the captains on these teams, especially in a game like that where we just looked like we were just, just going through. Some of the players just looked like they were just going through the motions and just, all right. No, this is, come on, wake up a little bit. Let's get something more out of this game.
We had done well recently against Newcastle. Recent defeats against Newcastle. We took the game to them playing at home. We beat a Tottenham team that City couldn't beat today.
Yeah.
And we beat a Manchester United team that City couldn't beat a few weeks back. So yeah, in context, these 4 results, Newcastle, the 2 wins against Spurs and United, and then this draw. it's keeping us going. It's keeping us going, but we need more against Brentford. Russ is right. Ref stops play for Onana. We talked about this earlier, Russ. Onana holding his shin when we were attacking, plays on when Mope holding his head when Everton are
Mope, oh my god, I want to smack him so hard.
That's the premise of his whole game.
I know.
Sam.
Spud's I know he's like what do you call it in hockey? The guy just fights everyone in hockey,
Fighter.
Right?
Yeah, he's on the fourth line. There he is. Come on, you Gooners, Don Juan. Rib injury. Gunnar Glenn says he's carrying a rib injury. So I hope that in the next 4 or 5 days that can be some care can be given to Partey. We can get him back to full fitness because we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with these 3 games: Brentford, City, and
you know what? It's going to be. It doesn't matter. It's always another 3 games, another big weekend. Every match we play is big because of where we sit. Every one of them. Yeah. Doesn't matter who we're playing and it should be. That's what we want to keep this team up on their toes. Knowing that every game matters, right? As opposed to, I saw somebody put free hit weekend. Nah, no, we can't take any days off, man. Not the way we're playing right now. We've got a good thing going. We want to continue the trend. We've had a bad 2 games, basically 2.5 games. We need to return back to form.
Our set piece kicking has been awful since the World Cup. Ball isn't even clearing the first man most of the time. The other thing is, for that goal, why can't we have a fullback inside that post? The corner came from that side, I think that's something we're going to look at. Weird weekend, lads. I don't know what to make of it. I think we got away with one there today. We got away. We're
lucky. We got help. We got help by that dirty lot down the road today.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were gonna help us out.
Yeah,
because I saw the game. Because I wanted to see it, and they played the best game they've played this season.
Listen, Sam, I don't subscribe to this. I wanted City to lose for sure. It's not what I was cheering. It's not what I was cheering for Tottenham. I wanted City to lose, but what's more important is for Arsenal to secure another league title.
We want the best for Arsenal. The best for Arsenal in that game today is 100% objectively, any way you cut it or slice it or dice it. What's 100% best for Arsenal today is City losing that game, because Spurs are a non-factor for us. If they were close on the title race, you could question it. Yeah, but they're nowhere near us this season, so it doesn't matter that they win.
We can't do anything more against them now because we just beat them twice, right? So
exactly, it doesn't matter that they win that game today. So seeing Arsenal fans wanting City to win and actually close the gap on us.
Why would you want that?
It's absolutely baffling. How does that help us? Right? So no, that's just no.
I don't think at the end of the season we're going to win by 6 or 7 points. No, so we won't have that. We don't have that luxury now.
It makes no sense. And today they play that damn Spuds down the road. They played their best game of the season today, and they helped us.
I mean, it does help when you don't start De Bruyne, right? I mean, so you got to take that into consideration. He didn't start the match.
He didn't start. No. So some strange things by Pep there, Gary.
Either he's also been like in and out of the lineup over the last number of years, so they've had a strong bench, so it didn't really matter. But in this game, he needed to probably play the 90 if he could, which obviously he couldn't. So that probably, and then that doesn't help the team. Like the flow, you're just talking about that flow that Erdegaard is trying to continue. Like you take De Bruyne out right now in that squad, that's a big cog out of there, right? I don't think they play the same way with him out of there when he's on, right?
I don't think Pep's ever going to figure this thing out with Haaland. He's got one of the best goal scorers in the team in the league, undoubtedly. But
how did they keep him?
The balance is not right somehow.
Like, were they not able to get crosses in or something? Because that's all you really need to do if you got.
They played a lot in towards him, but Tottenham just defended really well. They really did. They just got in the way, stopped it, blocked it. They just played really well.
Yep, and Pep is using the season to try to figure it out, but I don't know if he will. And that's on them.
Yeah.
We've
got two big center backs, so we should hopefully that's the answer for us.
We've gone about our business, like you said, Gary. We've had 4 disappointments in the league this season. 16 good weekends from Arsenal. 16. We need about another 12, 14 of those. Trossard to start has left 8. Xhaka has been poor since World Cup.
Yeah.
His ball skills combined with Martinelli's pace will scare the crap out of any team's right side. I've got a feeling that Xhaka. This is maybe a flaw with Arteta.
This is more. This is rotation now. Come on,
not going to sit him.
Isn't this more? Isn't this more rotation than anything?
Yeah.
The team needs to be able to rotate, and we always talk about depth all the damn time. We talk about depth. This is what it looks like when you don't have depth, right? We know Xhaka's not coming out of the game. We know Nketiah is not coming out of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we know those 2 players aren't coming out. Partey, they seem to be okay with letting him go out of the game. But Nketiah and Xhaka, no, they don't come out. All right.
Xhaka never comes out. That guy, as long as that guy breathes, he's playing, right?
We've seen the flaw with Jurgen Klopp being too loyal, and this is 5 years down the line, right? Mm-hmm. Too loyal to his players. Arteta needs to look at his players objectively and not have certain favorites like Granit Xhaka and maybe Eddie, although Gabriel Jesus is coming back in. Granit Xhaka is the one who you would say we can move a player in and around to take that position, but he doesn't have an outright successor in the squad right now that's like for like in terms of what he's doing, And I think that's the thing Arteta's going to fall back on. We don't have a replacement for Granit Xhaka. Well, we do have players. Trossard could play left midfield.
We actually do have, technically, and I know I'm going to be controversial here, but I'm going to say this. The player in our squad, that's still technically in our squad, who actually is a replacement for Xhaka, is Sambi Lokonga.
Yeah, okay.
That's the position he normally plays.
Yeah, that would be interesting if we would release that responsibility, if we would have released that responsibility from the kid. Obviously, he's on loan now.
He's on loan, and Arteta didn't want to play him in that role. He wanted to play him deeper.
Yeah,
which hasn't
the Brentford
really
game
is at the Emirates. I agree with Gary.
He's at the Emirates.
I agree with Gary. I would like to see Xhaka given a bit of a rest. I'd like to see Trossard play in that role.
Yeah.
It means Trossard would have to be. That means we would have to play a bit more attacking, not so defensive with that role
as well.
But I'd love to see Trossard match up with Martinelli and Partey. I think that would work well. Skillful player like that would be great with his passing foot. Absolutely.
That may help Martinelli as well. Right now, Martinelli, I think, is thinking there's a player.
I keep saying. I saw somebody say he needs to play. Is it with he's on the left side, Tierney, instead of with Zinchenko. Because of just the dynamic between the two. Like Zinchenko he comes inside as opposed to Tierney goes outside.
Yeah.
So it gives him a little bit of space to cut inside. So
I think if we try that dynamic, it doesn't have to be starting the game. We could be 2-0 up and bring Trossard in as the left 8 with Martinelli ahead of him. And that could work. That could bang.
Yeah. The other part is I don't understand this having players that can play multiple positions and we never let them do that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. We keep getting these players that are multifaceted. They can play all these positions, and then we don't let them do that.
I mean,
right?
So
Zinchenko multiple times could have been in the midfield when we needed to change things up a little bit, and he won't do it. Right?
I think when he does it during the game.
No, but we need him there the whole time, and then we, let.
Oh, you mean Tierney, like his set position? You mean
like he starts there as opposed to, and then maybe he goes further up the pitch or something. But
because what's happening you see what's happening with like Zinchenko and with a few of the other players like Ben White, they're playing these hybrid roles, right? They're actually playing like 2 positions during the game. They're depending on what phase of play. We're in. They're actually in a different position. Zinchenko comes into the middle a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When we have the ball, when we're in possession, and he becomes like another central midfielder to come in and help dictate play. And it's very interesting to see the way they play. But I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, we do have players who can play multiple positions, and that gives us those options. Vieira, Trossard. These guys can play multiple
think about it.
positions.
We right now, like if Jesus was playing in the middle where Nketiah plays, all three of those players would interchange, no problem. All right.
Yeah.
If Xhaka isn't coming back, he's not coming back. Whereas Zinchenko, if he was playing in that position, we'll be fine with him coming back because he kind of sometimes does that. He's playing on right in front of the back line when he comes up pitch. So if you can give him that most responsibility, then we got all this versatility over their place, and then we just plug these players in positions where we can't move them because if we move them, we know we're going to fail, right? But we have other players that can fill their spots, Yeah.
But I think that's the thing as well, Gary. We basically have sacrificed the cups to go for this league, and we're in a great position. Yeah. So at the end of the season, we'll be able to determine whether we did the right thing or not. But I also feel Arteta doesn't want to make experimental changes because we are in this position. We don't want to drop vital points. You know what I mean? That's just my take on why we have those players that can do these things, but he's not doing it right now.
Well,
there's never going to be a right time. There's never going to be a right time. Not in this season. Not right now.
2-0 up.
Never be a time.
2-0 up in the game is a good time to do it. With 30 minutes to go, I wouldn't risk it to lose points at this point. After these 3 games we're talking about, we're going to have 15 more games to go. So in about 2 weeks from now, we'll have 15 more games heading into the run-in. City's loss today killed any momentum they had built up, and will now have them scratching their heads in doubt. Hey, if we were Arsenal and we needed to win today, we would not be happy. So spare a thought for those Manchester United fans who thought they were going to pick up 3 points today and close the gap to 2 on us. Evening, chaps. Evening, the assembled.
Big up the assembled.
The other thing I was looking at, Sam, in the bottom half of the table, Everton have one of the best goals against records in the league.
Yeah. Everton are, they're a pretty solid unit now with Dyche. You got to hand it to the guy. He doesn't play pretty football. He's not there to, please the masses and play champagne, tiki-taki, football, Barcelona 2008 style. That's not what he's there for. He's there to get results, there to get Everton out of relegation, get them up to mid-table, and see what they can work with next season. That's what he's there for. And that's what he'll do. That's Sean Dyche. What Sean Dyche did with Burnley is another underrated achievement.
He got him up to 7th.
Because he's a white guy who has a weird voice, not really charismatic.
He should be a singer. He should have been a singer.
Yeah, it could be Barry White, couldn't he?
Yeah.
He could sing for you while you have your Valentine's dinner. But oh yeah, I'm gonna defend you with the V.
Defend the V.
Be
compact.
Compact V, and now comes a dessert. And but anyway, I was just gonna say, because the guy doesn't really have a lot of charisma, he's not in the media a lot, he's not really the guy that gets himself out there a lot. He's underrated. He really is. What he did with Burnley was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
With limited resources.
Potter did a good job with Brighton. Eddie Howe, you got to give it to that guy. What he did with, Bournemouth is like basically the size of, that club is tiny. And he brought them way up into the Premier League. And now look what the guy's doing with Newcastle. And they haven't even started using half of their resources yet. Right? Yeah. I mean, you got to give that guy credit. But yeah, Sean Dyche is that kind of level. And so, Everton, they're now with him there. He is going to get the best out of that team. They're going to start winning a few games. They're still going to have some tough games. They're still going to have some tough times. They're still going to lose some games. But
they go to Liverpool.
They're going to start climbing. They're going to start climbing now with him.
They go to Anfield next week, and we know that Liverpool can't buy a win. So Everton could beat Liverpool for the first time in probably decades at Anfield. Stephen said the fact that the worst player on the pitch is not subbed is massively worrying. I agree with you. As it shows that managers not dealing in reality. You got to look at players who are in form, and you can't be too loyal to players. Showing loyalty, and I think is the right thing, but don't show too much loyalty if they keep letting you down. As Gary said, we didn't perform really well against City in terms of the result or any chances we made. And now this is a trend across two competitions, across two games. Trossard is not our best 8 anymore. Xhaka is not our best 8 anymore. That is now Trossard. He will take the heat off Martinelli, freeing him up. The question is, will Arteta do that? And I don't think he's going to do it because of the situation.
Well, everybody's been saying the first thing anybody said was Martinelli comes out, Trossard in, right? That's been what everybody's been saying. Yeah. Even though he can play multiple positions, including the one for
Tony. I hear Tony's voice ringing in my ears right now. Trossard played most minutes as the left 8 for Brighton this season. That's information coming from Tony.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go. I would like to stay with you guys. I have to head out, but thanks for having me on. Ray, Sam, it's always good chatting with you.
Gary. Always great to see you, my brother.
See you tomorrow,
everybody in the chat.
Gary?
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow on the trip. We'll be chatting it up. Hopefully, I don't know if any new news coming out, but you'll hear Matt have his say about the game, so that should be interesting. And Tony probably too, because he's had some time to, Tony's takes. This is that's what I'm going to call it.
Tony's hot takes. Yeah,
Tony's hot takes. Everybody, see you guys. Enjoy it. Thanks for coming. See you.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Gary, for joining. Sam, do we start taking note of Man United? I mean, we beat them. Well, yes. Okay.
Because by the time we play, what is it? The game it's either the City game. I can't remember that. It's either the City game or the game after City. They have a game in hand. They're playing, or they're playing an extra game in between. If they win that, and they win, I just know that they can be like within 3 points and ahead of City if they win those games. And City, of course, City have to lose.
Yeah, Yeah, they're coming for City now. You know what I mean?
So Manchester United could be, especially if we beat City on the 15th. Manchester United could be our title rivals.
Wow.
Yeah, could very
well be.
In
the sense that they would be the second team behind us. Do you know what I'm trying to say? We would be 6, 7, 8 points ahead of them, maybe. But in the sense of that, they would be our rivals. You know the way the media will want to keep it alive.
Yeah.
Sam, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they'll try and get as much out of it, milk as much out of it as possible. Try and get as much out of the different contenders as they can.
But we're gonna fire up the Kahoot in a few minutes. So we got a few people in here. If you haven't already, download the Kahoot app. I will give you a pin. It's quite easy to sign up for. Give you a pin, and we'll do a interactive quiz.
So who's it about today then? Is it about like Dagenham and Redbridge, or who's it about today?
It's about Arsenal. It's about Everton. It's about a combination of things. We know Eddie is a poor winger. We have seen that broken record a number of times when Jesus was playing. Losing to Everton even hurts more now that Manchester City lost to Tottenham. Yeah,
it could be back up to 8 points.
You do wonder if the fixtures had been switched around, Sam, and we knew the City result before we played. If we would have
extra motivation,
we should have had that motivation from the start. It should be here.
Yeah, we did not play as we should in that game. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Done one. United are gaining points on City and Arsenal.
Yeah. Wow. They're the most consistent team at the moment. Even though we beat them, they are the one winning games.
Yeah, and that result, us beating them in the last minutes, might be a huge game, huge result at the end of the season.
Yep.
Sam, is hilarious. I agree, Daesh.
Big up, Matt. Yeah,
That's
I'll
how
tell you what. I'll tell you what. I think Matt's hilarious
Matt.
too. I love watching him on the Monday nights.
I do like Matt's takes. Yeah, when
Yeah, he's a good
like
guy. He's a funny guy.
we do need to fix up. He sounds the clarion call for Arsenal Football Club to fix
Yeah.
up, and we got another 19 games, 17 games to go now, and we
Yeah,
need
I
to
think
be
17, isn't it? Yeah.
need to be at our best. Hey lads, hope you're all well. Unfortunately, we gave you an advantage today, but always nice to beat City. That's the tough thing, you know. You're playing as a Tottenham fan. You're playing to get points for your own cause, but it just goes towards us as well. Everton bullied us. We couldn't handle their midfield.
Yeah, they were physical, right? They were really physical. We are a more physical team now than before. We don't really get bullied that easily, but they, like I said, it was like they played that game like a cup final, right? So, you know, for us, it wasn't a cup final. It's as simple as that.
I wonder how they're going to settle into the next few games. They're going to play Liverpool, which they should have as much commitment in that derby.
They're going to definitely want it. I think, first of all, Liverpool are there for the taking, right? I mean, Liverpool are in very bad form at the moment.
Yeah.
Really struggling, you know, with everything. They are definitely there for the taking for Everton. I think if Everton give that game the same approach and the same effort as they did against us, they're going to beat Liverpool too.
Yeah. Assembled the genius Tony Turner is plotting his next move as we speak. He's playing 3D chess. Peace out, Gary. Thanks to Gary for joining us. It's 2004 all over again.
Yeah.
With United,
Yeah.
is that what you mean? Gunnar Glenn?
Well, it's actually quite nostalgic, isn't it, to see that United might actually turn out to be our main rival this season at the end of the season. It might be. I mean, City are going to be there or thereabouts. Don't get me wrong; they're not going to crumble. They're going to come back and win games. But it could quite possibly be that right at the end of the season, it's between us and United, and City might be just a few points behind. You know?
Yeah. Arsenal have a game in hand on United, plus we were 8 points clear. Mr. Tom is considering entering Kahoot today. We'll put the pin up pretty soon.
Come on, Tom, you big tease.
I just wish we didn't have Sean Dyche in his first game.
Exactly. You just know that was going to give him a bounce.
That's the unfortunate thing about the fixtures, and you don't know when you're going to get that new manager coming in. We needed Jesus in that type of game against Everton. Definitely, Craig.
Yep.
Good evening, all. So,
nice to see you.
Winning the FA Cup by resting players really worked out against Everton. Players looked flat and ring rusty. Yeah. They had a lot of time off, Sam. There was no excuses.
No, that's true.
From a Friday to a Saturday, 8 days of rest. Tottenham focused on themselves for once and not what Arsenal are doing. And yeah, maybe Conte being out for surgery as well gave them a little bit of impetus to do something for Antonio Conte.
Yeah, maybe that helped him.
Everyone's playing checkers while Tony's playing chess. By the way, if United beat Leeds on Wednesday, Mr. Tom is probably worried about this. Then they're 5 points behind going into the weekend. Yep. We just need to keep them. We just need to keep a stiff arm away from our competition now in first place. 5 point gap could have been 2 points today. Yep.
Exactly.
Well,
it
could have been anything, and that's a title race. It could have been
happy with that. We've got to be happy with that. Those damn rotten, lot down the road helped us.
It could have been Sam. It could have been 8 points. It could have been 5 points. It could have been 2 points.
It could have been 2 points. It could have been 2 points, but it's not. So we're happy.
Yep.
Happy for that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So listen, we're gonna start Kahoot soon. Let me fire up. Get the pen in here.
Kahoot's going all right. Okay.
What's that?
Is any getting the Kahoots going? Yeah.
Yeah. Get it fired up, everybody. We'll have a game of Kahoot.
Yeah, I'll get my mobile ready.
We have a lot of people in the house now, so let's do it.
All right.
I'll give the pin out, and we'll get people time to get logged in. We'll talk a little bit more about the Everton game, and take it from there.
Righty ho. Got to share the pin.
Yes, sir. 387 3761. I'll put it up as well. Okay. There it is, people. Join the Kahoot game 387-3761. I wonder if Conte's syrup would be around. Damn, my phone won't download Kahoot, saying I've not enough storage space. Gunnar Glenn, download it between now and next Sunday. You can get in on the next one if you want. That's the issue with space and iPhones. It can be annoying. Winning ugly is vital for winning the Premier League, says Craig. Yep. We've won some ugly games. Think back. I would say the Leeds game was definitely ugly. I would say the Chelsea game, although we controlled the game, we only won that game by 1-0. So we've had some games where we have been less than the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've done very well this season. You know, we've had a high level of performance for most of our games. But
when you think about away from home, you think about Brentford. That was a controlled game away from home. Brighton, probably a title-winning performance if we go on to win the title. Palace, the first game of the season, and Wolves the line before the break. Was quite good.
Yeah, they were very, very good games for us.
We've seen today, Sam. We've seen today and this weekend. It's not. I'm going to roll this cliche out again. It's not easy to win in the Premier League. You know, you got to be able.
Exactly.
You got to come. You got to be committed. You got to have the desire. And if you're off by 2 or 3%, you will not. You will not be successful. You know.
Well, the thing is, I don't think there's such a thing as a really bad team anymore in the Premier League. We see that, you know, the competition is fierce throughout the whole league.
Yeah, it's definitely the competition between the mid, let's say the lower teams, and the top teams has closed up a little bit. City have had to cast off some of their players to other teams because economically they're not going to get the price for the players. Is selling them outside of the Premier League. Okay, here we go. We got we're going to give you 60 more seconds to get logged on. We've got 5 people in there right now. So it's 387-3761 is the number.
There was no one in there when I was in there, so I've gone out and now I'm coming in again. Now it's saying my nickname is used, even though I've gone out.
Somebody stole your nickname.
Oh, no way. I'll have to choose something else now.
Some of the Arsenal fans who want the manager are rejoicing the loss yesterday. Some of the fans who want the manager out, I guess, are rejoicing the loss yesterday. I really thought we were past that point. Disappointing loss, but come on. Where is that same energy when the team wins? There's always going to be a certain amount of Arsenal fans who even dislike Arteta and the way he acts on the sideline as well. You see it from Klopp, you see it from Pep, and we seem to accept what they're doing as being top managers. If Arsenal is serious about winning the Premier League, those type of games, you have to find a way to win them. You're right, Craig. We've done it, though, at Brentford. We've done it at Brighton. We've done it at Palace. We've done it at Wolves. And we didn't deserve to get anything from yesterday, you know. All right, so let's get in here.
Just give me something. Just give me one more second.
I will. Yeah.
What was the number again? Sorry, I need to go get in again.
387 3761. 387-3761.
Right.
387-3761.
Let's see if that screen name's still in use.
We have Stephen OT, Mr. Tom Bebe, resident THFC fan. Stephen OT is in twice. Conte Syrup is there as well.
Why is it not it's not letting me use the same name I had. Okay. Well,
Can you change your name?
yeah.
All right. Stephen OT, Mr. Tom Bebe, resident THFC fan, and Conte Syrup. The number for joining is 387-3761. Actually, you can see it on the screen there as well. Craig said Arsenal had 70% of the ball and the team did nothing with an embarrassing performance. Yeah. You can have all the possession you want. Are you Mopes Mud?
Yep.
All right. We're going to start it up. Ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Good luck, everybody. 5 of you playing. Kahoot is back. Everton won. Arsenal nil, unfortunately. Okay, which Arsenal player has not played for Everton? Kevin Campbell, Theo Walcott, Ray Parlour, or Martin Keown? Which Arsenal player has not played for Everton in his career? 4 correct answers. Ray Parlour. Kevin Campbell did play for Everton as well. Mopes Mud into the lead. Conte Syrup second. Mr. Tom Bebe third. And Stephen Ot fourth.
Who's Conte Syrup? I never get that. Is that?
Who scored Arsenal's goal at Goodison Park last season? Who scored Arsenal's goal at Goodison Park last season? Odegaard, Lacazette, Saka, and Kedia.
I probably got that wrong.
Well, it's your boy,
Yeah.
Odegaard.
I didn't remember he scored against Goodison.
That was a game where Tomiyasu got his face stamped on, and we didn't get much in the way of help from the referee yesterday either. Stephen OT in the lead, Mopes Mud second, resident THFC fan.
Even got a Spurs fan in here, Jesus Christ.
It could be James Fernandez, it could be. What is Everton's nickname? What is Everton's nickname? The Potters, the Citizens, the Toffees, the Coffees. An easy one in the middle, right?
I have some easy ones. 5
correct answers for the Toffees. Stephen in the lead. I think Sammy closed up a little bit. Resident THFC fan in third. Which striker never played for both Everton and Arsenal? Which striker never played for both? Theo Walcott, Alan Smith, Francis Jeffers, Kevin Campbell. Which striker never played for both those teams? Craig, you're right. The Toffees. Alan Smith is the correct answer. Okay, Stephen OT is in the lead, closely followed by Mopes Mud. Conte Syrup up in the third, Mr. Tom Bebe fourth, and resident THFC fan in fifth place. Okay, which one never managed Everton? David Moyes, Frank Lampard, Brendan Rodgers, Roberto Martinez. You could arguably say Frank Lampard, but it's not the correct answer.
Who was there on holiday? Who was there on holiday for 2 weeks?
He was just there, holding the spot. Mopes Mud up in the first place. Stephen is in second, very close. Conte Syrup third. Mr. Tom Bebe fourth, and resident THFC fifth. True or false? Arsenal and Everton hold the top two spots for the longest time in the top flight. Is that true or is that false? Arsenal and Everton have been in the top flight for the longest. It is right. Mick McCarthy knew 5 for true. That sequence could be broken if Everton get relegated this season. Mope's Mud in first place. Stephen's close second. A fight for third place between Conte Syrup and Mr. Tom. Okay, we got 4 more to go. Arsenal's famous chant 1-0 to the Arsenal is the tune of which group? Duran Duran, the Village People, ABBA, or Queen? Arsenal's chant 1-0 to the Arsenal is the tune of which group? Mr. Bungle, it was true.
Mr. Bungle coming in.
The Village People. If you answered Village People, you were right. Mr. Tom.
How did he squeeze in through there, you bastard?
He's in first place now. It's very close between Mopes and Stephen O.T. and even Resonant THF. Everyone's in this. It's pretty close. We got 3 more to go. Victoria Concordia Crescent translates to win together, victory through harmony, win at all costs. I was going to put an option in of to dare is to win. Such a useless term from them. 2 correct answers: victory through harmony. Mope's Mud back in the lead. Conte Syrup second. Mr. Tom third. Stephen fourth. And Resident THFC fifth. Okay. Dennis Bergkamp played 316 league games for Arsenal. He signed from what club? Ajax, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus. Dennis Bergkamp came to us from what club? 4 correct answers: Inter Milan. Mope's Mud might have just sealed the win here today. Conte Syrup second, Mr. Tom third, Stephen O.T. in fourth, and Resident THFC fifth. Okay, last one, Sam. Thomas Partey signed for Arsenal from which club in Spain? Real Sociedad, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, or Valencia? Five correct answers. Atletico Madrid. We did activate the release clause. Okay. Third place, Mr. Tom. He doesn't get the he gets the pancakes, but he doesn't get the belt.
Syrup.
It could be Stan, I'm not sure. Could be, but Sam, you're today, right?
Yes, I am Mope's Mud.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a great victory. Great victory. I'll be signing my bonus check later.
A great victory.
Had some tough competition there.
James, a resident Tottenham Hotspur fan. My Arsenal knowledge is lacking. You have to know your enemy, James. You have to know your enemy. It's very important. Know who you're up against. You know what I mean? Know who you're up against.
We got Leeds fans
right,
pretty good at Arsenal.
Yeah, there's a Leeds fan. Take the lead of the Leeds fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn it, my Latin cost me. You have to speak some Latin on the Fools Nelson podcast. You're gonna have to speak some Latin. If you could commentate in Latin, Mr. Tom, that would be amazing.
That'd be funny. That would.
Congratulations, Sam. Big up, Sam.
Thank you, Mr. Tom. You are a good adversary as always. You know your stuff.
Okay. Let's talk about the tears of our rivals, Sam. Are you getting a little bit? How do you feel about rival fans trying to bait us online on social media?
I don't really pay much attention, so I just laugh at them because bunch of hypocrites, really, aren't they?
Have you seen the new melt?
We're
Have you seen the
hypocrites.
new? There is a new Irish melt who's a Liverpool fan. A guy
Oh
called
yeah,
Morley.
that guy.
Morley.
There's also that Spurs guy. Yeah, they're fun to watch, aren't they? Because it's like, yeah, you're an idiot, you know.
I think if you want to get some fame on social media, especially on TikTok, all you have to do is like goad Arsenal, and because we're one of the biggest fan bases in the world.
We've got a very big fan base. We're very vocal. We're very visible. So unfortunately, with a lot of the idiots in our fan base, they get a lot of traction and a lot of visibility. So people react to that. But yeah, I mean, listen. At the end of the day, all fan bases are hypocrites, right? You know, we're always disgusted about the same things. We defend ourselves if it happens to us. You know, so at the end of the day, it's all just part of being a football fan, isn't it? You gotta defend what you think's right for your own club. You think everyone else are crap and disgusting, and you know that's just the way it is, isn't it? But it's good. It's good fun though. It's good fun.
Tom ain't a Leeds fan. He's a secret gooner.
Definitely, we all knew that. He's a closet gooner. We know that for a long time.
He's been exposed to Arsenal for quite a while now. Mr. Tom is Tony in disguise. He's both cunning and clever. Like Blackadder. Mr. Tom is like Blackadder. I got hammered online this weekend. Don Juan did. I hope you're carrying the fight, though, Don Juan. That is quite clearly false. There is a certain amount of social media, though, Sam, that, you know, it's all banter-based, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's banter.
Layers.
A lot of it's harmless. You can see that. But there's some of them that get quite serious with it and all that. But like I said, it's all just... I don't really worry about it because they're all hypocrites anyway.
Mm-hmm. Listen, it's not going to be easy to pick a man in a match, but who are you going to go for from that Everton game?
Yeah, for me, I thought Ramsdale had a good game. I thought he had a couple of really good saves.
Yeah,
he's been really solid lately. So I think maybe he is the only player who really can sort of say, yeah, you didn't really have a bad game. Also, I thought Ødegaard had a pretty decent game, to be honest, in terms of what he did for our attacking play. He did keep the attacks ticking over a lot. Yeah, for me, it's between Ødegaard and Ramsdale. But I'll probably give it to Ramsdale.
Okay. I will put Saka up for nomination as well. I thought Bukayo Saka tried.
Yeah, he had a couple of shots, didn't he?
I think the shocking thing, as Gary alluded to earlier, Sam, is the lack of incisive passing we had from our eights. You know, Ødegaard had an off day. He did try, but some of the passing was off. And Granit Xhaka, I thought, was pretty poor in helping Eddie Nketiah or Martinelli get into.
I don't think that very much came through Xhaka at all, really. That really helped a lot. I thought Ødegaard produced more than him, but yeah, Xhaka's been a bit off the ball lately, the last couple of games. Like I said, probably would like to see maybe Trossard given a chance in that role, but we won't because we know Arteta really loves Xhaka and always going to play Xhaka. He's important to the way our system works.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he hasn't been great. The precision of our passing was poor. And yeah, that's what needs to improve again. We need to get that right back.
All right, so I put this up earlier before the City game. You know, thinking that I would have to amend this to 2 points clear, but you know we're back to 5 points clear with a game in hand. It seems to be switching back and forth between us and City, who has the game in hand, whose game in hand FC, and City don't seem to be wanting to take that on right now. They keep talking about City going on a run, Sam. We just haven't seen it yet. You know?
Well, everyone talks about it. They're like, you know, soon City are going to find form, and the team's going to start gelling, and they're going to figure it out, and then they're going to go on this, you know, long, relentless run. They're not going to lose another game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, it hasn't happened. They still struggle. I saw today their game against the Spuds. They still struggle to play a lot. They like us against Everton. They lacked a lot of their tempo. Didn't really have a lot of tempo in their play. And also for City, they have an issue where their attacking play is definitely influenced by Haaland. You know, they're not adapting at the moment to how he's playing, and you can see that when they get the ball in attack, there is a bit of a disconnect between him and what the attack are doing. When as soon as he gets the ball and he's got a second, he'll score because that's how good he is. So he only needs a second on the ball to score, but all the stuff in between, the way they interact and play, it's not quite there, and that is affecting them, and that is probably one of the key reasons why they're not, performing on all cylinders this season.
The Arsenal misfit Stephen is putting himself forward to be nominated for man of the match. Here's a good case here. Waking up and tuning in to watch that mess at 5 a.m. in the morning.
You guys over there in the Americas, that part of the world, that's dedication. You guys got to get up early for the early kickoff.
Arsenal needs a kick up the ass against Brentford.
Yeah.
Sam, I really feel, though, that players will know this, right? Do you think Arteta's taking the right approach in showing them more love than a bollocking? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, I think these players they're at a level mentally where they know they fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need someone shouting at them, telling them they fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
They know they fucked up. What they need to do is to learn from their mistakes, look at their mistakes, analyze them, think about what they need to do to stop that from happening again. Get on the training ground, concentrate on doing what they're good at, what makes them good. Look at the tactics of how they want to play against Brentford. Focus on that on the training ground, and then come out against Brentford with everything we've got. We've got to get back to 110% work rate. We've got to get back to playing the ball quickly, coming out of the gates. The first 10, 15 minutes, high tempo, high press. Strangling them. Strangling the opposition, getting some chances in, maybe getting an early goal. Putting the game to bed 2-0 after 20, 30 minutes. That's back to where we want to be. I have confidence that we will have a good performance again, and we will get back to winning ways, because I just think the team, that is what is in the team, and also we're back at the Emirates, at the carpet, and at the Emirates. We are very strong there this season. At home, we've won all of our games apart from Newcastle.
Yes.
So we're playing Brentford at the Emirates. I think we're gonna get back to winning ways.
What's the situation with Ivan Toney? Has he not been playing the last couple of games, or?
I'm not quite sure. I haven't really read what's going on there, because if he's under investigation, if he's under official investigation now, then I don't know. Maybe the club has to suspend him or something like that. I'm not sure, but to be honest, I haven't really followed that situation very closely.
Yeah, I'll check it out now as we're talking. Yeah, listen, Brentford are an extremely well-run club, as you said earlier, Sam. Ivan Toney did play. He did play.
They're not going to come to the Emirates and just bend over
and
let us run over them and just win 3-4, 5-0. That's not going to happen.
I think it's a perfect test. After this game against Everton, if you want a team that you cannot take lightly at home, and Arteta will be drilling this into them, it's going to be Brentford, a well drilled, a well-oiled machine, very, very efficient in terms of what they're doing, and they beat Southampton 3-0. But I think it's the best thing to wake these players up. If we are falling into that slump that Gary's afraid of with the City performance, and now with this Everton performance, this could be the best antidote to where we are this season.
As I explained to Gary, I'm not that worried about the City performance in the Cup, because we deliberately set up with six changes.
Yeah.
If we were to play, I think really the only changes if we wanted to win that game, I mean, in terms of actually put out our full team, we'd have probably only changed the goalkeeper. We would have had Matt Turner in goal, and everyone else would have probably stayed the same. but we made 6 changes. So Arteta was deliberately resting players, thinking, okay, if we win this game, great. If we don't, yeah, it doesn't really matter because this is not our focus this season. So to me, that is like you're setting up not really with the same, you're not going to have that stability there, even though, yes, you want to win the game, you want to have a good performance. You're not. It's not the same as playing with the same team. So for me, it's a cup team. We played with a cup team. Now today we played with our regular full first team. And yes, in terms of stability, I would argue that if we, it would be different if we played our full team basically against City and lost, and then lost again today. Then you can look a bit about stability. But we played our cup team against City. We played a full first league team against Everton. And so for me, I'm not really judging those 2 games under one. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, of course, but you look at the performance, it's not good enough, and we need to get back to where we were, before the cup. Basically, we need to get back to that against Brentford.
So for me, and I think we were on the same page about this, Sam. I think, but for me, Arteta is telling the squad there's going to be Champions League games next season. There's going to be, we're going to be expected to navigate a group stage. That doesn't mean winning every game, because in the Champions League and the group stages, the big teams do lose a game, maybe away from home.
Yeah.
But then you're going to have to juggle, hopefully being defending champions of the Premier League and successfully putting a good show up. So you're going to have to win in the group stages in the Champions League, then come back on Saturdays and win games, probably early kickoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
7:30s or 12:30s, depending on where you're living.
Yeah.
So this is a nod toward the future. This is what we expect of the team. And
exactly.
For these squad players who want to play and want to play more minutes, that's the standard that they have to live up to. And Craig is right in a respect. Arteta disrespected the cup. I would say he more prioritized the league than disrespected the cup.
It's I'm a big fan of the FA Cup. I don't like, not prioritizing the FA Cup. But I must say that in the situation we're in at the moment, where we're actually leading the league, and we want to maximize our efforts there to win the league, really do our best to focus on the league, which is the focus and the main priority. I can understand and forgive Arteta for making a few changes to rest a few of those players, because when we're in a situation where we are now, where we have a real chance of winning the league, the FA Cup, and also we're still we're also still in the Europa League, right? For me, that's another big trophy.
Yeah.
I'd like to win. I'd love to win, even though the league will get us into the Champions League. I'd still love to win a European Cup, because we haven't won many of them, right? That's one of the thorns in Arsenal's side, is we haven't won many European trophies. So I'd love to win a Europa League. I really would, even though it's not the Champions League. I'd love to win Europa League. For me, as a highest position at the moment than the FA Cup. So I can understand that the FA Cup sort of comes third in the hierarchy of things this season, and it's like let's make sure we do our best to win these other 2 trophies. When we're in that position we are now, I don't mind sort of putting out a weaker team in the FA Cup.
Yeah, and look, we'll be in the Champions League next season. Undoubtedly, I can say that hand on heart. FA Cup next season will be our third priority as well.
Let me just make this abundantly clear. If we would have been in the situation we were in last season, where we've just come out of an atrocious start to the season, we're bottom half of the table, we're looking like we're going to have a shit season, if pardon my French. And then the FA Cup becomes a real possibility of a trophy you want to win, right? Because
I agree.
Just forget the league. We're nowhere near looking at the league. We were thinking top 6 is basically where we're aiming at best, right? So then the FA Cup becomes that's a trophy you want to win. So when you down prioritize that against Nottingham Forest, and you go out against Nottingham Forest for me, that was an issue last season.
Yeah, we were not happy about Nottingham Forest the season before going out against Southampton. I was not happy with that as well. I guess what I would say as well, Sam, if we were in third place and if we were 5 points behind City and comfortably in third place, I'd be targeting the FA Cup as a trophy to go a long way to a top 4 finish.
That's right, because you want to win trophies, right? So you want to win trophies. The job of this club really should be to win trophies every season, and you want to try and win all of them. Of course, that is the target, is to win all of them. But then you get to a position during the season where you look at what's realistic and what's not. And if you're sitting in third, many points behind City, the league, you're not really going to win the league. At best, you might get a Champions League spot, fourth or something. Then you want to look at the FA Cup and say, yes, that is a trophy we can win. Let's try and win it for the fans. That's what we should be doing in that situation. But now this season, very different situation. I agree. We don't need to prioritize looking at the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm. We have a situation where we have won the FA Cup, so I think 6 times or 4 times in 6 years. And we now have a unique opportunity where I think we've only had maybe 2 real challenges to win the league in the last 19 years. 2008, maybe, with Eduardo getting his ankle busted up. And then the Leicester. We were in the Leicester hunt in February. And here we are now in February with a great chance, 5 points clear, a game in hand. And we have to grab that with both hands as well. Getting back to the Everton game real quick, and we'll get out of here in about 10 minutes, Sam, if you're good for that. Do you think that we started with the right lineup? Assemble is asking.
I do. You can maybe
aside
argue
from Trossard, maybe, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can understand Martinelli play, because what Arteta's doing, I think, at the moment when we're having enough days between games, I think Arteta's thinking, okay, Martinelli, we start him because he's such an important player for us. What he does off the ball and everything. I can understand that Arteta's trying to keep that same unit together game after game because it's been working so well. So when there's enough game and rest in between, enough downtime and rest time in between games, I can understand that he's gone for the same lineup. I agree at the same time that I personally maybe would have given Trossard a game instead of Martinelli. I think we could have seen that, but anyway, Arteta decided no, let's stick with Martinelli, and I think the line. We don't know the ins and outs behind the scenes. Exactly what's going on with Partey, but you could see from the way Partey played, he didn't look like he was in. He was right. So maybe we should have rested Partey and given Jorginho a start instead. Maybe. Maybe we should have done that. It's easy to say that now, but I think going with that first team, that team that's been together for the whole season basically and done really well game after game, I can understand it. You're doing that as long as you had enough rest, enough rest in between. You're putting that team out there. I can get it.
Yeah. We hope that Partey's these days now that Partey can get a little bit more rest. I hope it's not a situation where we're continually going to be managing this injury. He's going to be managing this injury through the season. I hope it can be cleared up because we do have City coming up on the horizon. We're talking about City, but we can't take our eyes off Brentford. It's about the next game.
Always.
Brentford went to the Etihad and won there. So there's a clear and present danger with that team coming to the Emirates as well, on Saturday.
Well, because as we've said before a few times now, Brentford are no joke. They're a serious team with a few very serious players. They play well together as a unit. They have a very good coach in Frank. He does a really good job with them. He motivates the team. He's got their respect. He gets them playing good football. Well, not good football, but what I mean is effective football. They play very effectively. And they're not, like I said, that they're not going to come to the Emirates on Saturday and just let us maul them over, just roll them over.
Oh,
They're not going to let us do that. It's going to be a tough, hard fought game, but I just think we have the quality, we have the edge. If we have that effort that we normally have at home, I think the quality is gonna do them over because we beat them away. We've been one of very few teams who've actually managed to actually go to Brentford and win quite comfortably, which we did earlier this season.
Yeah.
I think we've got to keep that in mind. I
Yeah,
think we have the quality and performance in us to beat them. But like you say, Ray, you're bang on. We've got to focus on. This is what we've got to focus on. It's the Brentford game. Forget City on the 15th. We're not worried about that right now.
Take care of itself.
Brentford has to have our 100% full focus.
That will take care of itself. The City game. Jorginho has been made the scapegoat by Arsenal fans online. We need to support this team and his players and not have a meltdown every time we lose. Think of Jorginho as an El Nani, And
it's easy to make him a scapegoat because so many people were against the signing. They were against. So it's going to be as soon as he made a couple of poor passes. Oh, that's it. He's rubbish. This, that. It's always this knee jerk, reactionary. It's not thought through reaction. It's so typical with social media, and is everyone big results here and now. The guy's played his first 25, 30 minutes for Arsenal. It's a new team. Yes, he's Premier League proven. He's an experienced player, which gives us some advantages. But this is a new team, a new setup, new tactics, a new manager. It's going to take him a few games at least to adapt to that. We have to give him those few games to adapt. And then I would say after about 4 or 5 appearances, we start looking at, okay, is he giving us what we want? Because what we want is we want someone, which is what I believe he is. He's a step up from El Neni. He's not a Partey. He's not a Declan Rice. He's not a Caicedo or whatever his name was from Brighton. But he is a step up on El Neni. That is the idea. He's supposed to be better than El Neni, and that's the way I'm going to judge him. Is he better than El Neni? I think he is. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Nobody's handing entitled to us. Gunnar Glenn said we have to earn it. That's the way we want it as well. With Jorginho, there's room there for Jorginho to be the last guy in a couple of years in the squad, sitting on the bench, sitting behind the Partey, sitting behind Declan Rice, sitting behind a Caicedo. For now, Jorginho is the El Neni replacement. El Neni being injured. So that's one injury. Emile Smith-Rowe and Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus should come back next month. We want Emile Smith-Rowe to be part of this setup. So his recovery and his recuperation now, Sam, is very important.
I'm a bit worried. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a bit worried with Emile Smith-Rowe because the frequency of his injuries, it's worrying.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get Jack Wilshere flashbacks.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know what? It seems to be a symptom or a result of these young players coming through a system from an early age, training so much, having so much pressure, on their bodies.
Yeah.
You got to wonder, these kids, if they haven't had the correct recuperation and treatment and stuff like that, their bodies react at an early age, and I'm starting to worry a bit about Smith-Rowe I'm not sure if it's the same injury now because I know he's had his groin finally. He played with a groin injury for like 2 or 3 seasons, and now he's finally his groin injury is supposed to be fixed, but now he's got something else.
Yeah.
So it's like is this another Jack Wilshere? So. I'm a bit worried about him. Of course, I'd love for him to succeed. He's a Hale End boy, friend of Saka. I'd love for him to pull through and come back into our squad and give us what we want. But I'm worried about him. I really am.
Yeah. I echo those sentiments. I agree with you. Like to see him come back and finish the season in a meaningful way for us. We saw what he could do for us last season. He carried us for a large part of the season, scoring, I think, 10 goals.
It was important, really important.
We'll leave it around about there, Sam. We need Arsenal to finish this season. We need the players and the manager, the coaches to go to work this week. I understand why we lost this game. A lot of it's down to application, in my opinion, and desire.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
the players, that everybody involved in the club needs to answer the call and come out fighting against Brentford. I believe we can do it. As you said, our home record has been outstanding this season. We got
yeah.
and one final point: we have 18 games left. 10 of those will be at the Emirates, Sam.
And that is why I think we have a good chance now of actually winning the league. We need to take that advantage of being at home where we've been so good so far this season, and we just need to we need to capitalize on that. We really do. Also, interestingly, all our remaining games are basically apart from two. So 60, yeah, either 15 or 16 of those remaining 18 games are against teams sixth and below in the league.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you look at that, they're between sixth and below, and most of those games the majority are at Emirates.
Yeah.
We've got a real good chance of doing this thing. We really do.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really pleased about that possibility. But like you say, Ray, you got to do it. You got to do it. It's not given. It's not automatic.
Yeah,
We've got to play. We've got to play every game, each game as it comes. We've got to give our best. We've got to win them because we just know there's going to be a couple of bad performances down the line, and we've got to make sure that they don't bring us down.
One final thing then, just to take us out, is as you said, I think you just touched on it, the PTSD that Arsenal fans have. We've seen Arsenal slip into these bad performances and they've become 1, 2, 3, 4 performances. We need to arrest that.
Yeah, exactly.
Slide against Brentford,
Yeah.
But Sam, anything else you got, or else give us your final thoughts, and thanks for being here tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the podcast with Gary. A little bit of my ear and myself.
A little bit of my ear pops in now and again. It's always a pleasure with him. Now, listen, it's always a pleasure being on with you guys. You, Ray, the fan circle's great. Everyone in the chat's always great. Always good banter, good interaction, some good questions. Nice to see everyone there. I see Mr. Tom's giving me a nice little compliment there.
Yeah, Mr. Sam Greenwood is the glue that holds together common sense and insanity.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bridge in between there. Bridge in between. But no, I want to thank Tom for watching as always.
Yes.
And everyone else. And yeah, I like Ray, you said it very rightly earlier. It's one game at a time now. Mm-hmm. We know what we can do. We know what our abilities are. I think in terms of like I said earlier, I think we're in a very different place now mentally with this team. We have some leaders. We're in a much stronger place mentally than last season and the previous season. So I do have confidence in us bouncing back and getting back on track. We just need to do it now against Brentford, and we need to then take the next game, and then the next game. We just need to reset, take each game as it comes, give it 110%, win, get the 3 points, and then move on to the next game. Just one game at a time. Yeah. Don't worry about 2 or 3 or 4 games down the line. That's it. Just one game at a time, and then we'll get there hopefully. And so I just want to say thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks for having me on, and I hope everyone has a great Sunday evening or whatever time it is where you are. Yeah,
evening, afternoon.
Exactly.
Mr. Tom said this is my favorite show to watch when I'm on the toilet.
Oh, hey, all right.
Sure, you need to adjust your schedule, Tom. I can't do it for you. Eat something different. What can I say? Yeah, we want to be in a position, Sam, where this has got to be the golden age of Arsenal, and we need to definitely acquire some good big signings in the summertime. Jorginho will get us by, but he's got to be the cover for El Neni, not the cover for Partey. And I want to make this 4 or 5 year push for a Champions League in these next 4 or 5 years.
That is the dream, right? The dream is the Champions League, isn't it? That is the dream.
Yeah. Liverpool had to bear the brunt of, I think, City's cycle maybe coming to the end as well. You know, but like you said, interesting times at the top of the Premier League. It could be United, it could be Newcastle. We wait for our rivals to appear, because we're five ahead of them right now. Anyway, we will leave it there. Thanks everybody. Sam, as you said, thank you for being here, and
Thanks for having me.
take care, everyone. We'll see you on the Thursday night forum on the next one. Come on, you Gunners. Our weekend was bad at first, but